G'day everyone, it's me again, just reminiscing, and hope you find some information that's helpful or interesting. Otherwise, I'm just rambling on being a Kiwi. First of all, I'd like to say I apologise. I think I stupidly said last time about our west coast that it borders the Atlantic Ocean. Of course it doesn't. It's the Tasman Sea. It's what separates us from Australia. If anyone wants to know, we are not in Australia. We are separate from Australia, but they are our cousins across the pond. So, or we call it across the ditch. And we have an off and on relationship with Australia, really. We pull together at Anzac Day because it commemorates us Anzacs, Australia and New Zealand Air Corps or Army Corps, and we band together on certain things, rivals on others, especially sports. If there's an Aussie All Black game, you see the rivals coming out then, and most of it is good fun. Some people take it really serious because each team has their own supporters, of course, and rugby's our real national game. And but now, I mean, all's fair in love and war, and we will, if we're on any game between Australia and New Zealand, be hockey, soccer, anything, we both try and beat each other real hard. So yeah, I think there's more rivalry there than any other country. So, but it's just because our relationship to them. And me personally, I love them to bits. I mean, they're our cousins across the ditch. First time I went over there, I just loved it. They were friendly. They knew I was a Kiwi from my apparent accent. I don't think I've got an accent. I think I've got a horrid voice, but never mind. And they were welcoming, and I couldn't say better for them. My dear friend, she now lives there and made it her home, and she must love it there if she's still there. So there you go. But yeah, so that's my retraction. It's not the Atlantic, it's the blinking Tasman. You'd think I'd be knowledgeable about things like that. I mean, I've known about our geography since day dot, since school days. But anyway, that's what happens. You just have these funny moments, don't you? It's just part of life. And doesn't matter how old you get, you learn something new every day. Well, and don't ever stop learning. I remember when technology came, and I was away out. I think it might be when I moved to Canterbury and started working on farms. Sheep farm first, and then went to dairy farming. Had a ball. Sometimes not so much fun, but had a ball. I mean, my kids were all gone by then and doing their own thing. My son moved up from Dunedin to Canterbury and said, "Hey mum, I'm coming up too." And I went, "Okay, if you want to leave the city and come to the country." And he's never looked back. So, but yeah, technology. I was talking about technology. And when the internet arrived, and laptops and cell phones and all these, I mean, when we were young, we had a wireless. Now, younger generation won't even have a clue what a wireless is. A wireless is, the modern term is radio. But it was a transistor wireless, and because it didn't work on wires really, it had valves and bits and bobs in the back. But that was our entertainment when we grew up. After tea, the radio would go on and Dad would listen to the news, and us kids would have, I think, the Archers. And in our world, we have Coronation Street that's been going for about 40, 50, 60 years. But in my day, it was the Archers, and they were on the radio. and everyone was tuned to them because it was a radio soap opera, and everyone tuned. And Wednesdays and Sundays were an hour for children, so we would get stories read to us, we'd get little bits of this and that, and great fun. But that's all we knew. And if the wireless wasn't on, Mum would be in the kitchen doing the dishes, and Dad would play cards with us. We'd have Snap or Old Maid or what's another one? Oh, I remember Snap, and there was Old Maid. Nope, it's gone. But we had games like that, and Dad would play with us, and then we'd just doodle off, do our own thing. Me, I loved colouring in, absolutely loved colouring in. But anyway, I'm sidetracking again, so we'll get back to modern technology, which I decided that I was going to keep up with it because my grandchildren were sort of youngish then, and I thought, if I don't keep up with modern technology, I'm never going to know what they're talking about. Mind you, now I still don't know what they're talking about when they start waffling on about. You know, it took me a while just to figure out what AI was. But I was determined, if my grandchildren were talking about technology, I wanted to know what they were talking about. And I think I succeeded pretty good. Once or twice I had to ring up and say, how do you do this? And they'd go, you've pushed the wrong button. My daughter used to hit the roof. She'd go, for goodness, Mum, stop pushing buttons. I think I kept her. I'm hoping when she gets old, she'll look back at that and think, oh, God, Mum used to keep me entertained furiously. But yeah, my grandkids were always good. Even today, I bought this gadget home. It said that, what was it? It's a new thing now. People go, what is it? It's a round thing and you speak to it and it turns things on. Well, I bought one of them thinking, oh, well, I'll just tell this thing, Alexa or whatever it is, and she'll turn things on. Well, apparently you have to have modern equipment and it hooked up to whatever for that to work. So I think I gave it away to the grandkids and said, well, they said, Nanny, you haven't got any, I haven't got any machinery that it works off. There's nothing there, so it was a waste of money. But anyway, I think one of the kids profiteered, or might have given it. If I have things that I don't have any more use for, I bundle it all up in my trolley and I walk it up to the St John's ambulance thrift shop and I donate to them because I do use the ambulance service and they do a wonderful job and they look after me really well, and so it's my little help out of giving them a donation towards them, because in New Zealand here they're not funded by the government, our ambulance service. They are all run by fundraising and charities, and you can pay a year subscription and you get free ambulance services, which I do. And but yeah, so that's what I do. So that's the technology part. Getting back, to when I was little, we didn't have that. We had, good grief, we didn't. I think Mum had a hairdresser, but us kids went to the barber. We didn't have. Only adults went and got their hair permed or coloured. No, I don't even remember people having their hair coloured. Mainly permed or styled. But us kids, it was basically get in the barber's chair and basically what I've got now. But yeah, It's, and I must admit, I'm back to my old from when I was younger, because that's where I get it from, the barber, because she's the cheapest in town. But anyway, it's all good fun. It's really good, and yeah, and it's my birthday today, so I went and shouted myself a day at the pictures, and went and saw Paddington in Peru. Loved it. It's the kid at heart with me. We didn't see a lot of pictures. We did a wee few, but um, they were mainly musicals in my day. My Fair Lady, Sound of Music, Mary Poppins. Um, that's what kids went to see. They were musicals, and they were lovely. And Mum used to, you could go to the shop and you used to be able to buy these beautiful, I mean, when we were kids, they were just what you got for your birthday. Well, I did. My mum wasn't a baker, but she'd buy a beautiful bought shop cake, and it was made with not the soft icing, white icing you get today, but the hard, really brittle icing. And it would be icing, and it was always fruit cake. It wasn't flavoured cake, it was always fruit cake. And that would be my birthday cake. They'd put a candle in it, and it used to have flowerettes put all around it, and it always had around the outside on the edges, and it always had a silver happy birthday piece of papery party paper that you could take off and keep. So that was my birthday. So I mean, I loved it. And birthdays were simple. They weren't lavish big things. You got something that was practical, or I think I got my roller skates for my birthday once, and a bike at one time, when it was time. I remember my walkie-talkie dolls. We got walkie-talkie dolls. Kids don't really play with dolls now. They want these, gizmo things. And, yeah, great fun. But bit of boy, sometimes words just fly out of the head. Alright, let's get on to famous New Zealanders. Edmund Hillary, for a start off. And he used to clamber up Mount Cook, which is our highest. Now that's just in my backyard, on the Southern Alps. She's lost half the top through an earthquake. But Ed Hillary used to just climb Mount Everest as practice. Not Everest, Cook, Captain Mount Cook. And he used to practice going up and down there for his big Everest climb. So how's that? Pretty cool, huh? But he's very famous in New Zealand. Dr. Truby King is our Plunket founder, and I talked about Plunket. We have Jean Batten, Janet Frame, a very good author, and Catherine Mansfield, and everyone knows, well, if you hear of opera and you hear of Terry Kanawa, that's one of us, a Kiwi. Our comedians, Billy T. James. I'll tell you what, in today's world, he was a riot. He used to make movies too. If there was anyone that could call him all sorts of names, people would in today's world. But he was a Maori, full-blooded Maori. And boy, did he blast Maoris. he used to pick on them and make jokes about them. He did a skit once about coming to New Zealand and the English coming and taking over the land and all this sort of thing. It was all fun. Everybody laughed. It was great entertainment. And no one ever took offence like they take offence today. You only have to say one little word today and everybody takes offence. It's just, seriously, lighten up. Enjoy your life, because it goes by too fast. And another one we had was John Clark. Now, he was Fred Dagg. And if anybody wants to go and see a movie, a New Zealand movie, Footrot Flats. Now, John Clark was our Footrot Flats, and He sung the gumboot song. He was a typical Kiwi farmer. The black singlet, shorts, boots and socks, and a hat. And terrific, absolutely terrific. John Hoare, a musician, in Gore, which is further south to Dunedin, so Southland. Wonderful people. Open your door even more than Dunedin. John Hoare changed his name from or to. Anyway, famous singer, lovely singer. Boy, could he sing. Google him. He's fantastic. But we have Golden Chair Awards and the Golden Guitar Awards in Gore. And people, we're very musical as well here. And they will just have a wonderful time finding the best performers. And in the early days, early TV, we used to have Come On, we used to have Top of the Pops, and they were all talented people who would come on and be seen for their talent, and the best ones were always won the, best award for whatever. But boy, we could pump out some great talent, great fun. Yeah, but we were the first ones that did the suffragettes. We were the first country in the world to give women the vote. And that was all thanks to Kate Shepherd. Now, wonderful people, took real guts, because New Zealand, in a lot of ways, you get into the farming sector, they're still very male orientated. I'll tell you a story. This will make you laugh. My husband and I, we had a little farmlet, and we brought up our kiddies there into their teenage years. It was only a farmlet. It was only enough land there to grow a few sheep. I had my horses, of course, horse lover. And that was my side. My hubby did the gardens, the veggie gardens, and all that sort of thing, and beautiful gardens. Like I said before, he was a wonderful veggie grower. I don't know. But anyway, I'd been growing these sheep, these lambs, and thought, oh, they're pretty good. Because we used to put a few in the freezer. But then I'd get inundated, so I'd take them up to the sale yards and go to the lady and say my name, my address, and how many sheep I'm selling. And they'd go in for, at the sale yards, which is like an auction, but animal auction. So, and farmers used to just buy up what they wanted and what they didn't want. Anyway, I sold my little pen, absolutely excited. And you had to wait in those days. They sent you a cheque. There was no money transfer like today. No, none of that. No, that hadn't come into to the play. If you got money, you got it paid by cheque, or you had to go in and get cash. So anyway, in the mail arrives this cheque, and on top was my husband's name. And I thought, I'm the one that drenches them and shears them and does their feed, and I can't say move them, because that's another story. the kids would laugh their heads off today, but back then, no. I was, but anyway, I marched back to them and I said, what's this? And they said, that's your money for you. I said, that's not me. If you look in your books, my name's down there. That's not me. They went, oh, but that's how male oriented. I said, how did you find out his name? Because I never gave you his name. How did you find his name? But they found it. But that's what I'm saying. Very male orientated. To, when I got into do the dairy farming, I was right on the cusp where females do not work in a dairy shed, it's a male only. So I found it very hard to get work. But work I did. But now they want the females because the females make the cows calm, where the males sort of can get a bit agitated and loud and but yeah, they've worked it out that oh no, they don't mind the females now. But anyway, that's the way it was. But yeah, oh, but the sheep story, honestly, I don't know. I was just a typical mum, half farmer, half nothing. But I'd want to move from the sheep from one paddock to the next. So I'd round everybody up, 3 kids and a husband. Right, I want them from the top paddock into the bottom paddock. All you have to do is stand there. They'll do the rest. And I had no dogs to do it, you know, because I wasn't a big farm. I only had probably about 10, 12 sheep. And basically, if you get one through the gate, the rest will follow because they're followers. But no, it never runs smoothly, and I'd be yelling and screaming and going, why are you there and not there? Why are you letting them through there? And I remember my husband going, that's it, I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. And he walked off and I'm going, where do you think you're going? You get back here, we were supposed to be here. And he said, no, I'm gone. I'm fine, I'll do it myself. And the kids all sort of thought, oh well, if Dad's gone, I'm gone too. And I'm going, blimmin' family, blimmin' kids, what the heck? Oh, I can laugh about it now, but it was like, and of course the sheep are all scattered everywhere. They're not going the direction I want because of all this chaos. Anyway, I finally got them there, and it was fun and games. It really was, and but I think the kids can look back and go, gosh, they didn't have a normal upbringing. They were brought up half their life in the town and the second half in the country, so they got the best of both. But yeah, and I think they were healthier for it too. They drank out of rivers and, you know, picked food from the wild trees and fruit and what have you, and all that sort of thing. So I don't remember them getting that sick. It was all good. Much like when we were kids. Mind you, what our parents didn't throw down our throats. If there's any Kiwis watching this, and I'm wondering if, especially South Island, anyone cringe if I say Lane's emulsion? Multexo, not so bad. That's pretty cool. But every winter we got a spoonful of this Lane's emulsion. Apparently, it was good for us. It was the most revolting thing that parents could put down their kids' throat. But it was like at Christmas time. There was always an orange at the bottom of our Christmas stocking. Very much on fruit, because after the Depression, the people worried about all sorts of kids catching all sorts because there's not enough fruit or not enough veggies, and so they insisted. But this Lane's emulsion, it was horrid. We'd see mum coming and sort of hide. But the Multexo, I used to give that to my kids as well, and it was like black treacle. So you had golden syrup, which is light and golden, very sugary. Then you had Multex, which was like black tar, but it was almost like an unrefined golden syrup. I think it was in the same thing, but it was you could dig the spoon in and you'd have to pull it up, and it would sort of come up in a string, and you'd be turning the spoon around to get the Multexo to go round it, and it was like, by the time you were given it the spoon, it was like a lollipop. It was all wrapped around the big spoon, you know, your pudding spoon. And then you'd just sit there for hours just licking and eating this Maltexone. And I bought it for my kids and for the winter time. And whether it helped or not, I don't know. But then my hubby used to grow blackcurrant bushes. And when it was harvesting time, much to my kids' disgust, we used to harvest that, and I used to make rosehip that you used to buy in shops, but I made it. And it's a drink. It's like a blackcurrant drink, but it was straight blackcurrants, and you had made it into a cordial, and you put a little bit at the bottom of your drink and fill it up with glass, and that was a winter drink, and you could have it hot or cold. And I used to freeze half of it as well because it was great for puddings. I'd make a fruit sponge, and yum, kids really loved that. Yeah. So yeah, we had good and bad things for when we were young. Every school, I think in New Zealand, had milk delivered to them, and I think it might have been about 10 o'clock in the morning at morning tea time. You had to sit in the class, and you were all given this little bottle of milk. Like I said, we had oranges, Maltexone, and Lance Emulsion, but we'd get a bottle of milk, and we'd have to sit there and drink it. And great if it was when it's winter time because the milk's cold and lovely, but when it was summertime, oh, can you imagine us drinking warm milk? Oh, I cringe now, but we did because that's what we were told to do. And yeah, so, and this is all free. The schools gave it all to you free. It was part of the education, part of the, part of keeping kids healthy and what have you here in New Zealand. So there's a little bit of modern and old. But I'm going to go now because I'm going to go and make a cuppa and have a bit of quiet time and see what I can find for tea. And my children have all wished me happy birthday. My friends and family have wished me happy birthday. I've had a happy day. I really have. I can't believe how lucky I am for family and friends. They're just wonderful. And everybody, keep smiling. Just keep happy thoughts. It's good to just think happy. There's enough grump in the world. So if you feel like you're getting grumpy, just think of something that you brought up from your childhood or some happy thought, just to put a smile on your face. I think that's the best. So I'll say goodbye for now. Thanks for listening if you're listening. I think somewhere along the line I'm supposed to say, if you want to like, don't really care. I'm happy if you're happy to watch me waffle. And I'll see you maybe next week. We'll see what happens. I'll see if I can come up with something else. Alright, bye for now. Take care.